From an embarrassing glitch Epic wants to forget to an infinite V-Bucks method, these are 25 things Fortnite doesn't want you to know. And to kick it off, this month a lot of people logged into Fortnite and realized that something had gone terribly wrong. All of a sudden, we were able to shoot our own teammates and it literally wouldn't let you revive them. To make things even more chaotic, you can even see enemies on the minimap and reboot other players in solos. I don't know what Epic did, but thankfully, it didn't do too much damage, unlike the week before when everyone was doing the infinite V-Bucks glitch. Yes, at the start of the season, Epic Games accidentally created a V-Bucks method that thousands of people use, so here's how it worked. When the Among Us backlink came out, someone noticed that if they had already had it, they could actually just buy Among Us on the Epic Games Store, and it would give them 600 V-Bucks. A little bit of context, this was like 600 V-Bucks for 99 cents, but the secret here is, you could literally do this as many times as you wanted, and well, they did. By the time Epic fixed it, players' accounts looked like this, which I'm super jealous of because Epic decided not to ban anyone for it. Another thing that Fortnite really doesn't want you to know is hidden in this week's update. Epic Games made a secret change to the Eevee skin without telling anyone and hoped that really no one would notice. But fans quickly realized that if you compare Eevee from last week to her skin after the update, she received a very suspicious change, okay? Seems like Epic had another calamity incident, but when we all noticed, they actually put out a post saying they were going to revert this change in a future update. But something that actually needs changing is a secret feature of the Ripsaw launcher, because it turns out that you can literally just fire a saw blade at the ground and use it as a vehicle. No idea if this is a glitch or an unintended feature, but you might want to try it while you still have a chance. And that's not even the weirdest thing that the Ripsaw launcher has done. When you fire this at a cornfield, it does more than just give out mats. You secretly create a corn farm. Usually it just drops like one consumable, but you could get dozens from the same Ripsaw. And if you look over at Tilted Towers, there's a lot of construction going on with some of the original buildings being restored, while others are coming back in different ways. Of course, there's a competition to design your own building in Tilted, and the winners will be featured in the Block 2.0. But with this in mind, a lot of people are wondering what happened to the original block. Well, it turns out it was originally removed because of a huge controversy. One of the POIs had a room with a rope and a knocked over chair, and I'm sure you guys could tell why this was a problem. To avoid anything like that happening again, Epic decided to completely remove the block until 13 seasons later. And something that makes no sense is Fortnite's damage. Take a look at this. You can shoot someone for 60, then pickaxe them twice for 20 each, and somehow they still have 1 HP? I mean, the math ain't lining up. Still not a secret as the forgotten default dance. We're used to having 2 songs, but if you've been playing Fortnite since day 1, you might remember that it included a 3rd version. This was removed because the song was inspired by George Michael's faith, and Epic were of course scared about a lawsuit. Speaking of artists, Travis Scott is still one of the most influential people to come to the game. But did you know that his set was originally going to be completely different? Instead of the shirtless Terminator vibe we know and love today, Travis Scott's skin was going to have a trench coat and a black vest. Pretty cool to see old designs like this, but I have a weird feeling this and any other Travis skin won't release for a while. Another thing we'll never get has been hiding in the Fortnite files for years. Leakers were able to get their hands on secret weapons that only developers can use. Yes, I mean Fortnite has a literal god gun which deals thousands of damage. Now, it makes sense for testing, but others are a little random, like the secret gnome gun. I mean, it does exactly what you'd expect it to. But sometimes, when you make a hit game like Fortnite, you're bound to get copycats. I mean, if you scroll through the App Store, you'll see hundreds of clones with one in particular named Creative Destruction. This was one of the first games to piggyback off Fortnite's success, and it looks like Epic wanted revenge. This can't be a coincidence. Look at this gun from Creative Destruction and compare it to the Recycler that Fortnite released months later. I mean, am I the only one seeing this? But not everything in Fortnite has a nice backstory. In 2020, while the world was protesting, it became pretty distasteful to make money from the police. So to avoid controversy, Epic Games quietly deleted every single police car in Fortnite. They even went back and removed them from items like the Junk Rift and in creative mode. But something we are begging to see in Fortnite is underwater swimming. Over 2 years ago, an animation for this was found in the files and then actually used in the Travis Scott concert. Once the season came to a close, the storm was replaced with a wall of water that you could also swim in. But 2 years later, we're still waiting for this feature to be fully released. There's tons of underwater POIs on the map right now, including the 0 point, so it's the perfect time to let us dive under the surface. But if you want to go back even further, players have been finding ways to access old versions of Fortnite, and some have gone all the way to the very first alpha of the game. There's a lot of differences, but one of the funniest is the default skins. I mean, look how terrifying they are. And speaking of horrifying features, it turns out that seeing Feelies and Testeds wasn't gross enough for Fortnite. They had to go a step further, because in Chapter 1, you could head to Sunny Steps and find a llama on a roast, that I am now horrified knowing loot llamas have bones. I mean, what else is underneath? Well, luckily, Fortnite doesn't take this any further, because while eating a llama sounds pretty traumatizing, you can't actually drown any of the other creatures in the game. Epic made them invincible, which made us wonder if we could also drown, and well, it looks like we don't get the same treatment. But back in the day, there was a swing set at Pleasant Park that actually had working physics. You could jump on it and it would work. Sadly, they didn't account for players using them because when you hopped on, you'd be rewarded with an instant ban. But a secret you probably didn't know is that the Foundation is one of the most unique skins in the entire game. When designing him, Epic Games actually included 2 extra bones inside of his face, so The Rock's iconic eyebrow raise was in-game, a nice little detail. But for one of the weirdest secrets of Chapter 3, players found something interesting on the art station of an Epic Games employee. Among his Fortnite concept art, you can find a piece called the Uninhabited Soviet Complex. This was not labeled as a Fortnite POI, but you can see Fortnite sprays and references inside of the image. This might have been concept art for a canceled Soviet location. I mean, you could even see people shooting at aliens, which might have been like an early placeholder for the Chimera. But something that probably shouldn't be in Fortnite has been spotted around the island over the last few chapters. Throughout the years, people have seen in-game signs referring to smoking and drinking, and I'm no expert, but it seems like a weird thing to add, right? Just like how everyone wonders how one of the biggest Fortnite controversies ever made it to the game. You know what I'm talking about in Chapter 1, where a skin was released in the Battle Pass called Calamity, and she was the first outfit to have jiggle physics. Now, Epic immediately removed this and called it an embarrassing accident, but I think we all know that this is a little too specific to be called a mistake. What we really want to know is what happened to Fortnite China. For years, we had a Chinese version of the game that was made to follow the strict gaming laws in the country. It had free battle passes, challenges for V-Bucks, curfew timers, but last year, Fortnite China was shut down permanently. Probably because it wasn't making much money, but Epic was so sure this would never come back that they deleted everyone's accounts forever. Well, luckily we don't have to worry about a situation where our entire locker vanishes overnight, but that doesn't mean our skins aren't completely safe. If you turn your effect settings to low, then all the cel-shaded skins will lose their outlines and look super creepy. And that's not as hilarious as the time that Epic Games designed a secret area that was supposed to last for weeks. This was a 10 trillion HP cave, and the community had to work together to destroy the rocks and reveal the secrets inside. Well, except it didn't exactly go to plan because Epic forgot to test if cow catchers worked on this thing. So when we all decided to drive them in the rock, it was destroyed on day 1, ruining weeks of buildup. And so after seeing all of these things that Epic aren't exactly proud of, there is one secret that completely changes Fortnite as we know it. Today we're all familiar with Fortnite as a classic teen game with no blood and family-friendly gameplay, but did you know that it was never gonna be this way? Yeah, in the early days of Save the World, Fortnite's art style was originally a horror game with realistic graphics. But the original concept art is actually terrifying. Imagine seeing this in Fortnitemares. But then again, we've had plenty of horror and battle royale. Maybe this is just the beginning. Either way, those are 25 things Fortnite doesn't want you to know. It's been Tommy, and keep it here on Top 5 Gaming.